shall we talk? I'm gonna try to talk at a really not loud thing so I can, later on when I'm editing, I don't need to cringe at how loud I speak. Sorry, I just had a memory, yeah. Oh, this is so embarrassing. I think, yeah, because I was brought up in a different culture in my early years. Then I came to England and then there was a bit of a culture clash and then I didn't really learn stuff very quickly. But basically, I think, yeah, that some cultures you just speak loud naturally, right? And I remember my friend saying to me, I remember my school friend saying, Nayna, we're on the bus and the whole entire bus can hear your story. When she said that to me, yeah, I didn't realize until that moment that the whole bus could hear my story, because I was literally this is where it's embarrassing. I was literally lost in my story, telling my story, and I didn't even think of how loud I was speaking. And she was like, the whole bus can hear you. And I was like, oh. But because she had the courage to tell me that back then, it changed my whole life, because I was like, wait, why do I talk so loud? So then every time I did it, and I did it around her so many times after that, I would just be like, oh, okay, I'm doing it again. I didn't even see it before. Oh my God, it's so embarrassing. Anyway, so I'm gonna try it and talk at a calm volume. But I know that I'm gonna forget, so it's fine, but I will try. Okay, so the reason why I'm choosing to speak about this today, yeah, is because recently I've been paying attention to females. Before all of this happened, right, I didn't really pay much attention to females. Because either I was in love with males because they are, which we'll get to, right? And actually I'll do another video about it, but we'll get to it in this video, right? I pay attention to men, and then if I am doing stuff, I notice men. And then also I did notice that for a long period of my time, I gravitated towards having male friends rather than female friends. I guess because I like the types of conversations that we had and the types of behaviors that were on show and all of that stuff, right? I really didn't pay attention to women, and I actually sometimes forget that I myself have a vagina, right? Because Anyway, what happened, yeah? First of all, my older sister Anna, she gave birth to a daughter. She comes over for Christmas and she brings her daughter over every year. And she's just, they think that she like looks like me or whatever. Actually, everyone thinks that my son looks like me, and me and my son are like, huh? Do we? So then when they say that baby Miriam looks like me, I'm like, wow. Obviously it will be a massive compliment because she's a very pretty little princess. The point is that because she was born, I'm kind of like, she's a girl. And I'm like, she's so sweet. And then she'll come over and she'd want to be in my room with me, and then she'd want to like, and then you could just see how much it means to her. Like if I say something to her, or if like I have a conversation with her, you could just see her whole world light up. And then I'm like, I need to get a grip, right? Because I could just see how much I mean to this little girl. And here she is, a woman. And I just didn't even give two thoughts about women, right? So that was the beginning of it, yeah. Then there was a dog that was brought over to my house, yeah. This sounds so stupid, yeah, but I swear this was the beginning of it. But this dog was brought over to my house. We've always had male pets, right? I don't know why that's always happened. We've always had male pets. The last female pet we had was Missy. I was like quite young. We had this male dog called Teddy, and he's a Pomeranian, right? And he is a gigantic Pomeranian. I feel like his pedigree, yeah, somewhere has a wolf inside of it, right? Because Pomeranians are not supposed to be that big, and here he is. He's like a wolf, massive Pomeranian, right? So then Teddy, I've got used to Teddy for years, right? He's like 5 or something right now, right? Teddy had to move out. My brother took him. They ended up getting another dog, another Pomeranian, but a female. And then because they were like in and out of like moving around, they had to leave the dogs with us for a while, right? So then this female dog is now in my house. Her name was Lolita, but I renamed her Lola. I'm gonna call her Lola for this video, right? And she ended up staying with Teddy here for about 2 months. I'm not sure why, yeah, but I was so observant of this dog here and the difference between her and Teddy. I was fascinated by it. And at first I didn't understand why, right? Because this dog was just so crazy. It was so different and so hyper and so like emotional and so like sensitive. And she was such a leader. The point I'm making is that she was very different to Teddy. And I was fascinated at the difference, because let me be honest here, I was more than fascinated with it, yeah. I preferred it. Teddy, bless him, of course, I always want to give him cuddles, but if I tried to give him cuddles, he'll let me and then he'll just walk away. Or if I put him on my bed and I'm like, Teddy, I love you, and then as soon as I'm finished hugging, he walks away, right? Whereas Lola, Lola wants all of the attention. She wants all the cuddles. When I stop doing it, she's like there, because Pomeranians have this thing where they do this to their paws, right? She's there like more, more, more. And then literally I'll stroke her and she'll start like closing her eyes, and it's like Teddy doesn't do stuff like that. Anyway, so here I am and I'm witnessing this female dog being so different to this male dog that I'm so used to. And I'm like, hold on a minute, why is she so different? And so then I started just really noticing like, well, okay, so then females and males really do act different. And obviously then I feel like the whole world started to unravel before my eyes, where I started to really notice the difference between male and female, and how like they really do act different. And like females have all of these like similar traits of how they act, and then males have like this similar trait of how they act. And I know that there's a lot of cross in between, and people say they don't want to identify with either, but I was noticing this, right? And I was noticing it in my dog, and I was falling in love with her femality. I was about to say, is that even a word? I was falling in love with this female dog because she was a female, with how she behaved. Her little brain is just hilarious. And even Teddy as a puppy, he didn't behave like that. He was always chill. And whereas her, she's like leading the way, like on the streets, like she has to lead the way. And I'm just like, why is this dog like this? Anyway, so then baby A, which is another niece of mine, she's a bit younger than Miriam, baby Miriam. So then I was babysitting Ariel, and then she started to get a bit attached to me, a little bit more than Miriam, because she just wants to be in my room all the time and she wants to like go through my things. So then this time again, because I had seen Lola, I was just like, wait, let me observe this little girl. And it was exactly the same. Her brother Raphael is one thing and she is another thing. A little example of what she would do, right, as a female that a male wouldn't do. Last night I went to go and watch Cinderella at their house, and then I told their parents that they can go, so they left, and it was just me, my son, and the two babies. And then I tried to like eat something. I tried to eat something in secret, right, because I didn't want them to see I was eating it. And then like she noticed and she said, Auntie Nayna, what are you eating? And then I said, oh. And usually, yeah, this, I swear, this would work. This would have worked on any male. You direct the conversation, you control it, right? I'm used to males, yeah? And I said to her, Auntie's just eating something. Can we go and do something? Like literally changing the subject, let's do it, right? Raphael would have been like, yeah, of course, let's go. He would have just ran. He would have just like lost concentration. This little girl looked dead at me and she said, no, what are you eating? I was like, oh, Auntie's just finishing something. Because I was like, okay, she's not falling for it. And then she's like, open your mouth, let me see. And I'm trying to like distract her so she doesn't see what I'm eating, because then she's gonna want one, right? And she literally did not budge. She came right up to my face and she said, open mouth. And the pressure I felt to open my mouth, and I felt like I couldn't say no to her. So then I opened my mouth like I was some kid, but it was just like chocolate everywhere. And then because she got what she wanted, then I said, can we go back in the living room, without answering what I was eating. Then she got distracted and she left and she went to the living room, and I was like, oh my God, that was so long. The point I'm making is that I don't know why I'm falling in love and I'm getting fascinated with the fact that women are so different this way. The thing is, yeah, I'm really glad that I'm starting to feel this way about females, because obviously I've mentioned that I've never felt this way before about females, and obviously I'm a female. Oops. And I'm not even saying, yeah, that women are better than men, because I know that a lot of women who go through this process of falling in love with a woman like this. Sorry, I have to pause there, yeah, because I don't mean falling in love in a sexual way, because I don't have a desire for women in that way. I'm literally talking about falling in love with my mind, right? And a lot of women that fall in love with women like this, they tend to think that women are better. And honestly, I can, just bear with me for a second, because I'm going to say something that's like a bit upsetting, yeah, but I can see why they would say that, right? Even though it's completely untrue and it's completely inaccurate, it's completely unfair to say 100%, but I can see why they will feel that way, right? Because like it feels like these unique creatures have so much life and so much stuff going on in a head and so much emotion in a body, and it's just like, wow, like if you thought of a spark. What is that fly doing? Jumping backwards, but trying to go forward. So why would you do that? Do you think it's stuck on the web? Do you think I need to go and help it? Okay, false alarm, it's actually a spider that is actually learning how to probably jump around. Anyway, so you've got this ball of spark, and I still haven't gotten to the man yet. This is why I want to do a video for the man too, because obviously I'm fascinated with men, but for a different reason. Like it's more of this like attractive thing of like, oh my God, which we're gonna get to, right? With the woman part, right? Because the point I'm making here is that you've got this beautiful spark of a creature, this woman. So of course, this woman firstly should be celebrated, celebrated, like look at this magnificent thing. And then second of all, of course people will fall in love with her, and so of course it makes sense that these women are adored and they're loved and they're cherished. Now I just need to squeeze this in here, yeah, because like some women find it embarrassing to be a woman. Some women are like, oh, I shouldn't have emotion, that's a bad thing. Oh, I'm too emotional, I need to control it. Oh, I'm an overthinker, I need to control it. All these things, yeah, that I've noticed in this dog and in my nieces that make them amazing, that make them so beautiful, is the exact things that these women are being taught to change and to be embarrassed by it, right? So then I'm sitting in a gym today and I'm looking at my nails, and my usual response to this moment, if I'm doing this in public, is like, stop doing that, that's too female. And I think this is the bad habit of like what we've picked up about like, oh, females are too this, females are too that, and you shouldn't be like that, you should be more like a man because a man can think straight, a man leads the world, I didn't even realize that this education had got to me until I started to notice these things. So then I'm there looking at my nails in the gym, and instead of like putting them away, I was just like, if this is what a female does, which is like pays attention to these little details and they're quite passionate about that little details, then that's who I am. So I didn't put my hands down, I was just carried on thinking about my nails, and then I just like carried on with like my weightlifting. The point I'm making here is that A, if this world has started to teach that it's not okay to be female in these very obvious female ways, yeah, if they've said that that's not okay, we need to look at that, because the thing is, I'm seeing it as completely beautiful and completely unique. Second of all, yeah, I feel like, yeah, if somebody doesn't like okay, I don't even know if I've made a good job in explaining how I saw this dog and how I saw my baby niece, right? How female, how different they seem, because I can't really put my finger on it quite yet, apart from like, oh, one's really emotional and one doesn't seem to know his emotions. One is like super aware and the other one's like not aware. Second of all, I need to find what makes the man fascinating too, apart from the obvious, which we can talk about when we get there, right? I have a slight suspicion, yeah, that whoever says to women that you shouldn't be like you are, yeah, I feel like that they might be in love with the opposite sex of a woman, because I just feel like when you see that, if you don't love it. So what I'm saying is that if you're a man and you're saying to a woman, right, you should not be like a woman, I feel like that man fancies men, because this is what makes a woman. And if you're not dying in love with this being, yeah, then you don't like the being in terms of like what you prefer. And I feel like women that tell women that they shouldn't behave like women are women who are taught by these men. But that might be a bit far-fetched, right? So I'm just gonna like leave that out into the universe and then put another thought in, which is like, I guess is an imbalance of not understanding each other and not allowing each other to shine and not allowing each other to learn, especially learn, because you know, like for example Lola, she is too much sometimes, like she literally is too much sometimes, and I have to just tell her to calm down. And it's funny because when I tell her to calm down, she finds it so hard to calm down, which means that everything that's happening to her is completely natural, right? Anyway, but she does calm down. Like I said, it's too much sometimes, like you're going this way, then you're going that way, then you're going this way, then you're going that way, like stop it, it's stressful, right? And I would get angry with her sometimes because of her female ways, yeah, but then at the same time it's completely beautiful and fascinating to me. Like, look at her, like, she's a leader, she's emotional, like she has so much inside of her. Yes, it's too much sometimes, but it's beautiful, right? So then I feel like in this learning process of like getting to know yourself, Lola the dog, she has to learn to like live with others and work with others, right? So there may be people who don't see it that way and don't know how to see it that way, then they're gonna be like, oh, you shouldn't be like that, you should be like that. I guess what I want to finish with, yeah, is the fact that people who find women beautiful for being women, I find that very, very amazing. I'm excited to talk about the men in another video, because then it's the opposite perspective of like, okay, so that's not what I am, but this is how I feel about that, which I think would be similar to like a man who sees this woman full of life, completely falls in love with her, and it's just like, you're just the most amazing thing ever. And I feel like that's how it should be, right? When you look at somebody and you completely are like in awe with them. But I feel like females, they've stopped being taught this like power of just being who you are, and it's like, this is who you are, like take your power and be it. Yes, you can redefine yourself and you could tidy yourself, but all of these natural things that are coming out of you, this is what makes you beautiful, and this should be embraced. And I'm sorry that the world doesn't really tell you that, but I'm happy to tell you that, because I've literally fallen in love with women in a non-sexual way, and I'm really proud to be one because of this dog Lola and my nieces. And now I'm finally turning around and go, oh my god, I am one of those. I'm a female. And I think that's beautiful. beautiful. So let's all fall in love with women, and men can take advantage of that, and women can just play with it, you know. Until next time, my camera is flickering at me, telling me that it's going to a low battery, so I need to go. Until next time, have a good evening. Bye.